Hey guys, Zomfox here, and today we're talking about the third USFL player to go to the Green Bay Packers in Ishmael Hyman. Ishmael is literally the third guy to go to the Packers, and the third that is in some way, shape, or form a receiver, whether it be tight end or wide receiver. He's the third one there. So, as for him, he only actually got to play in 4 games due to injuries and stuff, but overall, he was pretty good in those games he appeared in. In 4 games, he had 2 touchdowns, so if he played a full season, in theory, he would have had 5 touchdowns, which would have actually tied for the league lead with only one other guy. And in terms of yards, he did have 158 yards, which weren't high in the league, but he had that in only 4 games. Once again, in theory, saying that nothing else changes, but he plays in every game. He could have easily been up there for league leader in receiving yards and stuff like that. And this is a guy who has been in multiple practice squads and stuff like that. He was with the Apollos in the AAF, though he didn't really play that much. But he was with the Browns practice squad. He was kind of on the Buccaneers roster for a bit, and then with the Panthers. And overall, well, he's back pretty much. As for the Packers receiver core, we got to, talk about it again. But as for the Packers receiving core, we'll go on this a bit quicker if you've seen the Osiris Mitchell video. As for that receiving core, it is pretty weak, not going to lie. We talk about it, that 4th string, Rico Gafford, Danny Davis, and then, still Osiris Mitchell. But then you have Juwan Winfrey, Malik Taylor, Amari Torre for 3rd string, Randall Cobb, Amari Rogers, Romeo Dubes for the 2nd string, and then starters, Lazard, Watson, and Watkins, though both Watson and Watkins are dealing with minor injuries right now. As for, the 4th and 3rd string guys that aren't Osiris Mitchell, since we already talked about him, Danny Davis, undrafted free agent rookie. Rico Gafford hasn't really done anything in the NFL level in the games he's played in. Amari Torre is a glorified undrafted free agent being picked in the 7th round. Juwan Winfrey was a 6th round pick back in 2019. He hasn't really done anything in the NFL. Malik Taylor, he's in his 3rd year, but he hasn't really done anything in the NFL. Then the 2nd stringers, Randall Cobb is the most experienced wide receiver in this whole group. He is a Pro Bowler, though that was a while ago, back in 2014. But for the 2011 2nd round pick, he's been a solid option, 3rd or 4th option receiver for a long time. And it was only 3 years ago where he had over 800 yards in a season. So he still definitely has some juice in him, as he didn't even, start or play in every single game last year and had over 375 yards. Amari Rogers is a 3rd round pick from last year. He didn't really do anything despite being a 3rd round pick last year, but maybe he'll have more. Then Romeo Dubes is an undrafted free agent rookie. Their starters include a 2nd round pick, but a very high 2nd round pick in Christian Watson. Then the very underwhelming 4th overall pick in Sammy Watkins. As we mentioned, he hasn't been a Pro Bowler. He hasn't had 1,000 yards since his 2nd season. And his best season, he hasn't even topped 700 yards since then. But as we mentioned, back in 2019, he did have 673. Maybe, with Rogers, he can get his yards up. Then Alan Lazard is currently, to most people, their de facto 1, which is kind of sad. He's not a terrible player. He was an undrafted free agent. But after doing literally nothing his rookie year, he's pretty much shown that he is a very solid receiver. I think he's better as a 2nd or 3rd option, not a starter, as, not a number 1. But we'll see. Just like with Osiris Mitchell, he really could go insanely high on this roster. I think that 1st string is a bit out there. I think Cobb could become a 1st string and take someone like Watkins or Lazard off if they're going to do that. But I think he'd definitely become a 2nd string. But that battle between him and Osiris is definitely going to be fun to watch in terms of a USFL sense to see who ends up doing better between the 2 of them. But we'll see. This has been Zomfox. If you enjoy this content, want to be notified as soon as I upload new videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And as always, have a great night.